Monday crossword for February 2nd, 2026. This is by John and Colin Thomas. Unfortunately, I have a bit of work to do for school tonight, so I'm going to have to keep this a bit short. I'm not going to be doing the usual cross-only solve this time. I'm just going to be solving it straight like I normally would. And I might try to be a little bit fast with this one, so I'm very sorry, John and Colin, that I don't really get to enjoy this puzzle as much as I normally do with the others, but in any case, I'm sure it's going to be a good one. I will try to talk about every clue if I can, but I'll just be a bit fast about it, that's all. So let's just begin. Okay, that girl's would be hers. Another way you can look at this, like if you substitute hers for something that means that girl's, in a sentence, for instance, then it would work. Let's see, with in French is avec. Building where airplanes are stored is a hangar, with an A specifically, because hangar would just be like a coat hanger. Really, ever so, perhaps? Eggs in a sushi roll is row. Ever so slightly, for instance, for really slightly. Like off-site employees are remote. And to scrub is maybe to scrap, or it could be, well, a Nemo in a Finding Nemo. So to scrub might be to scour something, like using a scouring pad. Houston baseball players are the Astros. Cult classic is Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. To engrave something might be to etch something. Duet -1 is a solo. Duet is a piece for two players. And a solo is just for one performer. Like the proverbial bug in a rug might be snug. Less is more. I like fill in the blank clues because they're quite easy, sometimes. At least they're unambiguous, you know, like when you have some other answers. It could be something, it could be something else. You don't really know. English boarding school attended by many royals is Eton, which is a boys-only school. I know a few people that actually went to Eton themselves. Results in is leads to. Dark crime genre is noir, film noir, that's what they say. Addams Family cousin, I don't actually know what this is, what this person looks like, but it's cousin It, supposedly, in the Addams Family. Inspiration for a 2017 Tony-nominated musical. Maybe if I get this letter, I might get it. African grazer is new. Rear end informally is tushy. So possibly it's ground something. So I don't know. Great blue expanse is sea. The Matrix character, whose name aptly is an anagram of one, because he's a chosen one, Neo. A common saying is an adage, sort of some wise words, a little figure of speech. One arguing in court is an attorney, which might be shortened to at. End of a school's web address is edu. Jedi Knight is a Star Wars fighter. Adam Scott or Driver. So these are either Adam Scott or Adam Driver. Fellas might be buds, perhaps. Maybe it's not buds. Guys, perhaps. Because what is this? Painting the town red, so to speak. So painting the town red means like I think you're going on sort of like bar hopping, like on a pub crawl or something. Perhaps with these letters, it might be on a jag. How doth the busy? It's Groundhog Day. It's really just Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day, because it just repeats over and over again. Groundhog Day. That's a fun one. This one is gay. LGBTQ. Have a round of tequila for perhaps. Might be to have a round of tequila. Do shots. Tequila is a hard liquor, I imagine. Goddess of the Dawn is Eos. I only know that because I've seen that before, so don't worry if you don't know that one. Regarding might be as to. You also, for instance, have in a memo or like email, you might have an abbreviation in re. Well, re is not really an abbreviation, it's more of a Latin word. It might be pronounced in re instead, I imagine. As to also means like regarding a certain topic, for instance. Bad odor is a stench. White heron is an egret, one of those wading birds with like long beaks. Part in a movie might be a role. Acting role, acting part, for instance. Farthest points. The farthest points are the ends of something. Not tied, as shoelaces are undone, perhaps. Burns with liquid is scald. And letters before USS Enterprise or USS Intrepid. Okay, so least likely to start a conversation with a stranger is the shyest, perhaps. Triumphant cry. Looking like this might be booyah. And what is this? Receded as the tide is ebbed. ebbs and flow. That's what they say. Animated film, Encanto, with the song We Don't Talk About Bruno. It's a nice one. I've played that one before. Makeup of a reef. Might be a coral reef. First word in 2 U.S. state names is North, as in North Carolina, North Dakota. Let's see. Bird that scientists are trying to bring back from extinction is dodo. I have heard of some efforts. Don't know if they were successful, but anyways. Pro gridiron officials, informally, are NFL reps. Gridiron is a reference to gridiron football, which is the, I guess, official name for American football. Let's see. Actress Claire Foy of The Crown, which I have only seen but couldn't really remember off the top of my head. But there it is. In the manner of, I've seen that clue used to refer to Allah. For instance, like Allah King, like certain kinds of cuisine might be in the style of, or it's like Allah, I don't know, painter, like Allah Monet or something. I don't know how they really say it. Holy Moses. This sounds like a sort of dated minced oath or something like that. Sort of egads is kind of a oh my gosh equivalent. There it is. Bring home as money. You might earn. So as money, another way to say bring home in relation to talking about money is earn money, for instance. Arlo Guthrie, I've heard of that before. Horse with a reddish coat is a roan. Also, I suppose more topically, you could have clued this as chapel roan, so sure. But roan is also a kind of reddish coat. I think it also refers to, roan also refers to that shade of red. Then uncle of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. These are the 3 ducks in DuckTales. And so Donald Duck is their uncle. To have the same opinion is to agree. To gaze intently might be to stare. That girl is she. And then sharp on a TV informally is probably high def. Ooh, I don't know why I put reps there. That should be refs. Okay. Takes the edges off. Takes the edge off is to ease. You might ease your pain or something. Bear in constellation names is Ursa major, Ursa minor. Ursa meaning bear. Let's see. Red in Spanish, I think it's rojo. And this is DJ'd. Yes, DJED. There it is. A proper one is capitalized, a proper noun. Nice. Okay. So this is, of course, the theme. And quite fittingly, it's just the word Groundhog Day over and over and over again, which is the premise of the movie Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray, like Phil, the character, repeats the same day over and over again. Let's take a look at what the other clues are about. Inspiration for 2017 Tony-nominated musical, also Groundhog Day. Well, the same movie, just clued a different way. Then what is this? 1993 film that featured I Got You, Babe. That's true. It is. It is literally the same movie with this. Yeah, and this is the movie. This is the song that plays in the beginning, as the alarm that the character Phil wakes up to every day. Then what is this? Film about he goes from being a prisoner of that time. Same movie, just different description, which is nice. He goes from being a prisoner of that time and place to being master of that time and place, which is nice. This is in some ways a very how do I say it? It's certainly a unique theme, right? One that you kind of look at it and you almost sort of smack your head going like, that's a really creative theme. I should have thought of that myself, because it is really just like beautiful in its simplicity. Like you really didn't need anything else to make a New York Times published crossword than to just have a theme with the same word over and over again. And of course, this wouldn't have worked with any other word, but it just happened to work with Groundhog Day. Oh, it makes me think, perhaps this actually is Groundhog Day on Monday. Perhaps Monday really is Groundhog Day, so this actually is fitting. Because wasn't it the first Monday of February? Possibly. But it seems like if it was published in New York Times, I think they would have made that consideration. So it's nice. It's also very fitting that for a Monday, it's actually a very nice fill as well. You get a lot of easy words, a simple vocabulary here. You get a lot of fun, interesting words here, like this, and a lot of interesting clues. So Neo, I've seen this clue many times, but I've never actually thought about this cluing angle. So this is really clever. I like it when Monday clues, though typically very definitional, can sometimes have that bit of creativity that doesn't make it so difficult or tricky. For instance, like this, I think this is just one way that the constructors have showed their cleverness by noting that in the movie, Neo is referred to as the chosen one, and fittingly, his name is an anagram of one, which is a really nice way to sort of include that level of interest while not necessarily making it harder than it needs to be on a Monday. And something else, for instance, you have these interesting fun facts in Dodo. That's what I was trying to find. So Dodo, they're trying to bring back from extinction. So it gives you a few clues. One, that it already is extinct. It's a kind of bird. And I guess this is the interesting part about it, right? That they're trying to bring it back from extinction. I haven't heard of any recent developments, so I don't know if people are still working on it. I'm sure there must be a team somewhere that is still trying to bring them back. That's really nice. Yeah, so I really like this one. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go back to my work, but thank you, John and Colin, for this. This really made my day, actually. Really fun to see these creative kind of themes. All right.